Good evening, my true crime fans. I hope you're doing well out there tonight and are prepared for this evening's horror story. And tonight we are going to discuss the murder of Stephen Robards. Dorothy Marie Robards, better known as Marie Robards, loved her mother deeply, with the two being so close they were more like sisters than mother and daughter. The 16-year-old, who lived primarily with her mom following her parents' divorce when she was 4. However, their relationship did become strained prior to the start date of Marie's junior year of high school, when the teenager came home and discovered her stepfather, Frank Burroughs, with another woman. Despite this revelation, Marie's mother, Beth, decided to work on her marriage, causing a mother and daughter rift. Marie became increasingly disdainful and outright disobedient towards Frank, culminating in Marie threatening to leave the home if Beth and Frank didn't get a divorce. Beth and Frank stayed together, and as a result, Marie went to live full-time with her father, Stephen. Marie came close to immediately regret this decision, almost immediately. However, she turned up on her mother and stepfather's doorstep, begging to move back in. On the other hand, Stephen Robards was apparently thrilled to have his daughter with him full time and working hard to learn the necessary homemaking skills to raise a teenager. It wasn't that Marie had a bad relationship with her father, she had just missed her mother terribly. Unfortunately, Frank had made it clear she would not be coming back if she moved out, and Beth and Frank stuck to that rule, forcing Marie to go back to her father's home. That's when Marie was ignited and decided to take things into her own hands. Using barium acetate that she had stolen from her high school chemistry class, Marie Robards laced her father's refried beans on taco night with what would be an amount to a lethal dose. Later, she would claim she only wanted to make her father sick so she could go back to living with her mother. Whatever the initial motivation was, the results were the same. Stephen Robard died, and his death was initially ruled as a heart attack. Marie got her wish and returned to her mother's house. In a horrible turn of events, Marie learned at her father's funeral that Beth was leaving Frank and had already made a plan to move with her daughter to Florida. Almost a year later, Marie was studying Hamlet one night with one of her best friends when the subject matter caused her to confess her crime. Her friend Stacy Hugh agonized for weeks over what to do with this information before finally asking a school counselor to contact the police about the murder. When the crime was reinvestigated, the poisoning was discovered. Marie, who was a freshman at the University of Texas, was eventually convicted of her father's 1993 murder in 1995 and sentenced to 27 years in prison. She was paroled in 2003 and is now believed to be living under a new identity. The crime has been given the fictional treatment in Megan Abbott's 2018 novel, Give Me Your Hand. Well, Marie was one of the most of unluckiest of murders. I do remember seeing that on a short cold case files, I believe. Marie, I wouldn't invite anybody coming over to her house to eat tacos for dinner.